Hi, I think I'm on now. So I was checking out my YouTube channel. I'm just about completely dying out, and then I had this video on quantum physics or physics of Mandela, and then it just came back on, and so I really am very puzzled of uh, how people become interested in a video or not. Well, if a lot of the girls that I'm trying to date, they just put on a nice bikini, and then next week they got a million hits. For me to get 100 hits, I need like a couple of PhDs, and have to come up with the major discoveries, and explain it very simply. Like why do I have to work so much harder? But this is reality. The stuff I have, they're very intellectual, very arcane, actually research, and you need a very good education, very good IQ. I don't know. You need to be very mathematical, and that's why I'm not getting very many hits. Well, I want to talk about some topics in quantum physics and mathematics, which are very bizarre, very difficult to get. Many scientists might just drop me and say, I'm not going there. But let's start with the cosmology. That I think that our universe is really what's happening in the surface or event horizon surface of a black hole. Okay, this surface is is really a cone, uh, because as you go down in time, closer and to closer to the Big Bang, you're actually going down on a cone into a singularity. Uh, all the space that we see around us are really the surrounding area, the inner area of this cone. And when this cone comes out in time and space, in space time, it the inner inner part of the cone wraps around the singularity. From outside, if there is an outside, then you see that this is like a star. If there was any reflection, you could look down and see the entire event horizon surface. But this surface is not a sphere, is the inner part of this cone. And that's one strange idea. Another one is that it, this event horizon surface, if you are on it like an ant and you're looking all around, it would look infinite. Every direction you go, you can go as far as you want, but it is infinite, but it's is limited. There is so much of it, because all it is this star and the mass it had, and it's very possible that there is other universes that are disconnected or inside this event horizon surface, uh, in a sense that they are being simulated by yet another universe. This idea is also itself very bizarre. There was a movie in the past that talk about that the universe is a simulation, but there could be simulations inside a simulation. There was a movie too, I think, that they talk about how you could go into a dream state, and inside the dream state, yet there is another dream state. That that can happen. But in the movie, uh, they were actors in this city, and they discovered that, hey, we are not real. We are really like a game of life. We exist inside the computers of yet another universe, and then within this the computer that they had in their own world, they also had simulation going on, or yet another universe. But then there is another concept, is that the evolution of universes is really the evolution of black holes. That's all that matters. So many biologists think of life and really the evolution of bacteria or the evolution of viruses, and there's nothing outside of these genes. So say in our universe there is also other black holes, and these black holes, they collapse, the star collapses and generates its own event horizon surface, but in that event horizon surface is yet another universe, and inside that universe there is other black holes, or there could be, and so on, it goes on. uh, well, the also many scientists, they have very a lot of trouble understanding that the universe is not continuous, is not subdividable to an infinite degree. In fact, it's grainy at the distances that are called Planck length. I think 10 to the minus 33 meters, I think. Planck time, forgot, it's a very minuscule amount of time. From one point in Planck time to the next one, like a tick of the clock, of a very fast clock, things are not determined. They're not. You cannot predict. You cannot subdivide this time. It's like a digital projector. You are between frames. In the same with the distance between Planck's lengths. You're between frames. So you can also think that, hey, this is a computer, and it's projecting frame by frame. Each frame is space-time. Then the next one is one Planck time, and one Planck length later is another space-time. So many scientists, they come to the conclusion that, hey, the universe is a simulation. Something is simulating this this universe, and well, this concept is similar if you went to a movie theater and they were showing these films. They're not digital. They're like frames of film somebody made of like say a historical war or something. So when you look at each frame, there is a space, there is time, there is motion, there is I mean, there's some motions, there is some relationship between actors, points in this imaginary space, right? So when the film goes in front of the projector, when from one frame to the other one, then the motions, they change. For example, from one small frame to the other one, you can kind of predict that, you know, when the actor was throwing a punch, the punch is going to hit the other guy's chin. You can predict that. Or you can develop mathematics that would kind of study the coarse behavior of the objects or actors and make predictions to some extent, right? This is actually their version of Newtonian mechanics. Everything is mechanically related to each other. But then between the frames, well, actually something else happened. This movie was made by a director, by actors, and they had their own opinion of what should happen. Actually, there was consciousness involved, and the consciousness had its own ideas where each particle or each pixel should go, and it had nothing to do with the mathematics that was immediately available on the imaginary space inside the film. So then this concept is extremely difficult for even many good physicists to grasp, that hey, not only this universe is a projection, but also there is consciousness involved behind this machine. There is something or somebody else that makes the decision that how this simulation should go, or what it should play. Well, actually, they discovered this link from the double slit experiment, that hey, the consciousness of the observer, must be human observer or conscious observer, affects the experiments. That's such a bizarre thing. But then this is the same thing as saying that a segregated consciousness of an observer is really the consciousness of the universe, and it's actually the universe that decides how this simulation should go. Well, if you don't understand me, I don't blame you, and I also have lost hope of large viewership, so many people watching me, you know. Anyhow, I belong to a Sufi order, and the Sufi master said that in the past there were many teachers, many saints, many imams, and they had all these spiritual experiences and very interesting things, but they seldom want to talk about everything because they don't want to get ticket to the loony house. Well, actually, many of them would get killed because the government or caliphs or kings, they they became suspicious that hey, this person somehow his consciousness or his it affects society. Well, I can't just tell right away, but things seems to happen, and they all like were in his prayer or in his way of thinking. So they would become suspicious, and they usually end up in jail. This has been happening in many different historical periods, but this is kind of similar to what happened in quantum physics, where the physicists became suspicious that hey, how come my consciousness affected the experiment? That's wrong. That's well, is it similar to somebody who's in the movie and he's looking at the interrelationships between the particles and the actors in the movie and making a judgment that how the next frame would look like, but then discovers that hey, there's something else lurking here. We are really there must have been a director and somewhere else, I don't know. Well, these two are very interesting results. And then the next question that that we are confronted with is if there is this machinery, this quantum computer, this device that's simulating something, we are the hopeless prisoners of this device or this machine. What is it? What is it projecting? What is it? What is it trying to do? What is all this? What does it? What do we do for this machinery? The same question could be asked by the actor in one frame of this movie that's playing. What am I? What's my essence? What am I doing here? What am I doing in relationship with all these other actors? What's what's the purpose for me being here? And what was the other? I'll tell you why I laughed at that. But there was something else that was lurking in the back of my mind. Uh, these questions become something that could be answered theologically or metaphysically. Well, in the Islamic world, they will say that read the Islamic verse, "Konto kanzan makhfiya," which means like I was a hidden treasure and I wanted to manifest myself. So many scholars believe that the the universe that we occupy is the objective reality is like that the movie screen is only there like a mirror so that this machine, this consciousness could look at herself or project an image of herself, that she could then look at this image and admire herself. Has really nothing to do with us, with our objective reality or our interrelationships. Well, I want to leave that argument there because these are very lengthy arguments. Only very few philosophers or scientists they go there. Then there have been discoveries that all the information in a black hole is really stored on the event horizon surface of this black hole. So really, there was a movie about it too. That really this two-dimensional surface is like a cosmic hard drive, and we are like bits and pieces of information, and by some mechanism like the projector, it gives rise to objective reality, or like the projector projects this world into a screen. On the screen, if you become immersed in it, well, there is all these relationships, there is space, there is cars, there is actors, they have romance, and there is all kinds of secondary and tertiary effects, but none of it is real. Everything that's real is happening on this two-dimensional surface of the film, and then even that is not real because somebody else, something, a machine already made this movie. It already thought up this simulation, what I want to say, what I want to do, how I want to be projected. Then it made the movie, it made this screen, and then we have the objective reality of the screen and the cinema. The more we study these relationships inside this fake world that we have, the more misleading it becomes, because we are studying relationship between secondary effects, things that are not real, that they're themselves an emergent phenomena. They could not in themselves give rise to us. For example, we could study the evolution of bacteria and how the bacteria will come and become other animals. But bacteria, if we think like this, that bacteria itself is a projection, then what? How uh, it could be, it could not be. I'm sorry. But then also there's one last argument, that because many scientists are so seduced by reductionism, by mathematics, that that we are our mathematics is incapable of describing reality. It's like you have a knife, and the knife is very dull, and you try to cut a piece of cloth or cheese, and you can't. You just keep going at it over and over. In your mind, you say, "Hey, this knife must cut this cloth," but it doesn't. Uh, I want to leave it there. I think my diabetes is kicking in. I'm going to have trouble naming this video, but hey, I don't blame you if you don't want to go down this path. It's a very difficult concepts and very counterintuitive. Thank you. Please join my YouTube channel and leave comments.